Hey guys, it's Kelly. I'm back with another process video. Today I have a layout to share with you that I made with the Hip Kit, and I combined my June and July kits because they had a bunch of the same product line and they both went so well together that I knew I just wanted to clump them all together and see what I could make. So I'm not sure if whether the certain papers or embellishments or what have you come with which kit, but just know that if you were to look, it would either be the June or July Hip Kit. So I have been scrapping some of my older photos right now. We don't have any current beach pictures, so I'm forever behind in things that I want to scrap. So I just pulled this picture out from, it's probably been 6 or 7 years ago, of my daughter, and I loved that pink and the pink stripe paper and the triangle paper. Both those are from Fancy Pants, and I tell you what, they are just some of the prettiest papers. I love the bright colors, and the texture of the paper is really nice as well. So because I loved the paper so much, I wanted to showcase quite a bit of the triangle paper and just thought that it would be a nice, fresh, different layout. Pattern paper is one of my weaknesses, and I like to showcase it, whether it be a bigger photo mat or a whole strip down the side. So what I'm doing is going through my embellishments, and I'm sorry the iris container is off camera, but I'm just picking out anything that I think would be appropriate, and I'm going through the wood veneer and the tags and the frames and just kind of seeing what I want to cluster behind the photo. I do know that for the background I wanted to add some mixed media, and so I just kind of wanted to have an idea of where I was going to take the page before I started working on my background. And I will tell you that I ended up having to redo the background, and it's been for a couple of reasons. The first, I'm not sure if the gesso that I applied was too thin of a layer, but the paper warped very bad. I've never had a piece of Bazzill cardstock warp as bad as this one did, and I'm not sure if it was just too thin of a coat of gesso or too much water, but I really didn't feel like I had an extensive amount of water on it, so I'm not sure. But what I wanted to do was just play around with some of the gelatos, and I took out the bright colors of the triangle paper, the yellow, the pink, and the orange, just to play around with it. And I really liked the way that the when you add water to the gelatos, that it just kind of rolls around, and it just creates a background that you couldn't replicate again 100% if you tried. Just you don't know how the water is going to go or where the color is going to pool, and it's just so fun. And when I said that I had to redo the background, let me tell you, I didn't mind remaking the background. It was just the fact that I had to, gently get everything up off of the page. That was the only thing I minded. And my other complaint with this is that the gesso is not white. And I don't know that I had ever appreciated it until this layout, but I missed a small spot on the top, and it definitely has a creamy yellow background. So my lesson from that was, if I ever want to have a pure stark white background, to use clear gesso, because at least that way it's not going to affect the color of the cardstock. So what I'm doing is I am just matting my photo on white cardstock. I pretty much always mount my photos. I just like the extra pop that it gives to the photos. And the tissue-like paper is from Hazel and Ruby, and I like that. It just adds a subtle layer behind the photo. And so now I'm just going through different papers just to see what I want to back my photo with. I go ahead and decide that I want to go ahead and stick down those two layers, the pink stripe and the triangle. I like the way that they look, and I'm very happy with how it's coming together. So now at this point I knew that I wanted one of the easy titles, and I chose Sun-Kissed from the Crate titles. I quite often struggle with my titles, so if I can make a pre-made title work on a page, that is just bonus for me. So I was trying to decide whether to put it on top or on bottom, and then also how to place it on the bottom, if I wanted to place it directly under the photo or having it kicked out to the right. And I felt like at this point I knew that I wanted it to be offset to the right a little bit, but what was bothering me was I felt like there was trapped space between the title and that triangle paper. And so what I do is I will find an embellishment or die cut just to help fill in that hole, and that just makes it more pleasing for me. So I really wanted those triangle wood veneer to work on this page, just because it would bring in the wood veneer aspect and repeat the triangles, and you will see me play with those over and over, and I do not make them, I can't figure out how to work them onto the page, so eventually you'll just see I just scrap them. And I decided to go through my die cuts one more time. Actually, I don't even think that I went through this particular pack. And what I was looking for were anything appropriate, like the sun, or the colors that I wanted, the pinks, orange, or the teal. Any of those, just to see what I could put where. So you see, what I'm trying to do now is to fill in that gap that I was not liking, and actually I will take that one away and I will put something else in that space, and just trying to play around. This is the fun part for me, is trying to figure out what's going to work, what I can place, and it's how the page comes together. It's when it takes on the life of its own. And some people will say that creating the background or putting the finishing touches are the favorite parts of their layout. What I'm doing right now is definitely my favorite part. Just having fun, just moving things around. I am very much a visual person, and it's hard for me to have in my mind what it's going to look like if I don't move around the pieces and parts. So I decided that I needed to put a little bit of foam tape behind the second part of that word. I had put foam tape behind the photo just to pop it up, and also to let there be some shadow between the photo and the frame, and to get the title to lay down neatly. I popped it up, and I was very happy. I was able to make the bottom part of the die cut that I cut off for the top to work in that space, and you'll see it just poked out a little bit into the open hole of the S, so I just trimmed off the edge. That flower die cut is one of my favorites in this collection. You know, when they have such a great die cut, I wish there was more than one or two. And yes, I know you can have the stickers and, you know, the chipboard elements, but, you know, I'm just saying that those, I just loved them, and it made for a great non-theme embellishment to go on the page. So this little tag I found fit nicely behind that pink tag, but I did not want to waste that gold glitter corner of the tag. So I cut that off because, you know, why put it behind a tag if you can't see it? Yes, I know it's just a corner, but, you know, I was hoping that I would be able to find someplace else to put it on the page, and I end up doing so. So at this point, I know that I'm fairly close to the end, and I'm just putting on my enamel dots. I love those enamel dots and the poolside embellishments and the wood buttons. They just really make a nice touch for this collection. So I pulled out one of the white strings off of another tag just so that these two tags could match. And I decided to put that corner of the tag up in that right hand corner, and I felt like that brought just a little bit of balance to the layout. And I do have some close-ups at the end. And I just wanted to thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.